My name's Ewan Bristow. I'm a music producer slash plugin developer. I've made a couple. I've actually got 7 out. One released about a week ago. It's an Amen chopper. It's really good for like getting that Aphex Twinny kind of experimental vibe. EB Morph, which is a morph clone, which is completely free. EB Resonator, which is like a color base kind of oriented plugin. EB Spectral Squish, which is a spectral filter, but with like some really unique effects, which I haven't seen on the market. And yeah, that's just a few. I started programming in secondary school. It was like just making like games and little things with Python and these like really simple things that you wouldn't really think of real programming. It definitely lit that spark, and I think coming back here for the second year really lit it again. My granddad used to work for Dolby, so I definitely got a lot of hi-fi experience, so that got me really interested into the technical side of things, software and hardware side. And my dad's a DJ as well, so I got into making music and DJing music with him. I wanted to be the next biggest D&B artist in Bristol, but now it's completely shifted and I've picked it back up. So the reason I started getting into like actual plugin development was I couldn't afford a plugin, but it's essentially a spectral resynthesizer which takes amplitudes of certain frequencies, sort of strips them down and gives you 8 or 16 and resynthesizes them with a wavetable. And I couldn't afford it at the time. I looked at a couple softwares that I could sort of kind of understand. I landed on the one that I currently use almost every day now, and I rebuilt it just from scratch. Just a long rabbit hole. That was a crazy night. And I made it within about a week or so, and then polishing it up, giving it a nice skin, making it look fresh, giving it a name, Chameleon X, and then chucking it back out and seeing what people said about it. It did quite well. It was my first paid plugin, as it took a long time. But that was like the, people really want this moment. I understand that like a lot of work goes into plugin development, but I think there's a crazy amount of plugins which just kind of cost way too much. And I think right now there's not really a market for that kind of like bodged together DIY plugin. And I'm hoping to kind of fill that gap in. I've been working with a few other students on a couple different projects. We made a delay pedal, and the software that I use can be implemented into basically anything. It's really universal. So you can feed it into Android devices, iOS, even like ESP32s and Daisy seeds. And it's great because it allows me to connect with so many people who might not have that programming experience with a software that's easy to use, one that's quite diverse, and one that I can just chuck onto basically anything. And if anyone wants to make an effect pedal or like even just a plugin, it's really easy to do if they've got the idea. I'm also working with someone who's also in my year. He's working on a load of other spectral effects as well. And like I said, because it's in the same language, it's so universal, we're able to just bounce off back and forth with so many ideas, taking stuff from people online, taking from the community, and just create basically anything anyone wants. Yeah, so I think the moment that really made me want to stop, not necessarily stop making music, but sort of move onto a different path, was realizing that I could create these tools that people can't afford. It's amazing, giving the opportunity for people to, like me at one point, have these plugins for completely free. And I just think that's amazing. And just seeing the responses that people have given, you know, people donating or even just like people generally just like complimenting, it's amazing. And of course I'm giving to the community. I expect nothing. And yet people are like, they're loving it, you know? So it's a really good feeling. A lot of people do donate, which is amazing, and I'm so thankful for everyone that's donated. It makes me enough to feed myself and put a roof over my head as well, which is amazing. I think a lot of people go into it with the expectation of they should be a business person, whereas a lot of people are quite attracted to the single developer, no idea what he's really doing, he's just the same as anyone else. I can connect with people so easily, and I can just message them really easily if they have issues, or if they have problems with any kind of plugin, or if they want help, or if they want teaching. I'm teaching some people at the minute as well, and it's just a great little tight-knit community that you can make with all these people if you're open and upfront about just keeping it free, keeping it chill, not really worrying about it, not being behind an email, or behind another email, or behind a contact information, where it's just like, message me. Everyone's on Instagram, just message me. DBS has made me feel like I'm part of a community, and I don't mean that in a weird, like cringy way. I mean that, like, I genuinely feel like I could walk up to anyone in this place, say, do you want to try a plugin I just built? And they'd say yes, which I think is amazing. And just even the communities and just the people here are so willing to try new things. All of the lecturers here are the same, exactly the same. I could approach them with any kind of idea and they would 100% be on board with helping me or just pointing me in the right direction, which is amazing. It's the right place for it. Experimental plugins, experimental audio processing techniques, all of these different kind of categories, they all fit into this one building, and they're naturally appearing in this building to these people. It shows that they're passionate, clearly, and I try to push it to as many people as possible, obviously, but it's great seeing that even with the weird and wacky sounds that might come out of it, it's still being pushed to the people that are here.